Hello, Tops friends. I just finished a Facebook chat with the coordinators to review some of the procedural changes that we were able to make. And some of you may know that we're not requiring chapter elections this year. We lifted the chapter ban to allow chapters who the local regulations will allow them to meet to be able to start up again. And then we had also we were able to reschedule IRD to next year. So that was some heavy lifting that needed to be done. That's why I've got my target on the wall, hoping that we can hit the bullseye each time when we make these procedural changes. Now, I'm aware that some of you are hoping for more substantial changes in various rules and situations like that. But we have to be careful that we don't change what our organization was built on, and that's support and recognition. And by change, if you try to change the rules that really influence how we recognize success, that has a cascading effect that could have consequences that we weren't expecting. There's a difference being supportive, which again what we rely on, versus enabling, and it is a fine line. But there's no perfect time in our lives. We're all dealing with stress, and I'll admit, pandemic is extreme. We're dealing with a virus which is bad, but yet I'm hoping this video chat will go viral, which is good. So it's how we look at things. Are we learning things about ourselves and how we should go forward as an organization during an extreme time? Yes, but that doesn't change and shouldn't change what we've learned as being a TOPS member. That we're here to prop everybody up, to allow them time to get through an ordeal, the loss of a loved one, an illness, loss of a job. It doesn't matter what is causing the stress, that's important for you. And only you can deal with it. But you're going to need support, the prop up. There's no one there that could take the problem away for you. We have to do it with the support of others. And that's what we learned at our chapter meetings. And that's what we need to apply during which, again, I'll admit, this is an extreme time. But think about it this way. When we were not involved in the pandemic, we were meeting once a week. Typical meeting lasts an hour. For discussion purpose, let's say an hour. Well, there's 168 hours in a week. And I think we've all learned now that just getting support for 1 hour a week isn't enough. We need to put things in place to cover the other 167 hours of our lives in a week that sometimes we can control and sometimes we can't. So that's one thing that I've learned during this time, and I try to pull on what I've learned since being a TOPS member since 2002. But nothing's perfect because we're human beings. And even though we think we're smart enough to handle any crisis thrown our way, again, we're human. And I think that's why when we talk about when we say the TOPS pledge, we lead off by saying I'm an intelligent person, giving the notion that I can handle everything thrown my way. But we quickly turn to I'll control my emotions and not let my emotions control me. Why is that important? Because at the emotional level, sometimes that's where we lose our way. We all, again, think that we're intelligent and we can handle everything, but emotions creep in. And that's where the prop up needs. That's where we need that support for whatever reason is causing you stress. So I think that's important to reflect on. It's been a rough few months. I've learned things about myself that I didn't know. I think it's important that we keep on growing uh, every day. Try to learn something. Um, I said early on when I started doing these video chats that I wasn't on Facebook that much. The only time I heard about Skype was that was somebody who was doing that. I'm not going to do that. Zoom, that made a reference to me to a superhero that I used to read about. So, I'm now aware of all these things. Are these social platforms, are these video chats going to replace what we were doing and when we were meeting together as a group in person? No. But I think now we've learned that we've got another tool to support our members, that to go beyond that 1 hour a week that we meet, to fill in that other 167 hours of the week. And I think that's really, really important. Um, Something else that I think we need to talk about and brag about. In the middle of this pandemic, we're hearing the term comorbidities. If you're diabetic, if you have asthma, COPD, any other cardiac issues, any other health challenges that you have can put you at a higher risk of getting COVID 19. And obesity was listed as one of those things. So, shouldn't we kind of embrace what we've been doing as a supportive organization to realize that if we can get healthy, we can, and we become healthier, that we can fight off anything that's thrown our way, whether it's an illness or a stressful situation. If we are strong to the core, we can battle almost anything. And again, that I think is something important. And again, that's the intelligent part. I think some of us always knew that if we were practicing unhealthy habits, that we were putting ourselves at risk for diabetes, heart issues. Who knew that if we were getting ourselves healthier, that we have a better shot of knocking down a virus coming our way? So I think that's important to reflect. I think, again, we've learned a lot. We have more to learn. As a species, we've evolved. We get better as things go on. And I think as we come out on the other side of this ordeal, we can hit more targets and be a better organization, a better person, and again, to help other people strive to get a healthier lifestyle. So that's all I really wanted to share with you folks. I did talk finally with the coordinators on what we're going to do to recognize our 2019 winners. We need to have a recognition day in some format later on in the summer, early fall. We'll be talking more about that later on in the coming weeks. Now that we've gotten rid of some of these major targets that we needed to take care of, we can focus our attention on the next steps. So again, that's all I have for this Friday. I hope you stay tuned and come in next Friday. I plan to have something super for all of you. Have a good day. Thanks.